Okay, so in the first section we will learn how we can download the Unity software. So if you will type here download Unity, you will find download Unity link here. You will click on this link and here you will find download Unity Hub. So you have to click on this link and your Unity Hub will be installed. I already have a Unity Hub in my system, so I will just double click on Unity Hub and Unity Hub will be opened in a second. So now you can see that this is our Unity Hub and I have two versions of Unity. You can add multiple versions on your system of Unity, and I already have 2020 version and 2019 version. We will use 2020 version for this case. So if you don't have any version installed, definitely if you are installing Unity first time, then you can click on add and here you can select your Unity version if you have installed manually. Otherwise you can go to installs section here and here you can click on add and then you will find different Unity versions. Here you can see you have 2019 option, you have 2021 option as well, beta option as well for 2022, and the best options are LTS version. Okay, so whenever you will download Unity version, it's important to download LTS version. It will not create any problem for you. Otherwise, if you will install F1 or beta versions, they may have bugs in your editor. So after installing, you can go to your projects and here we can create a new project. So we'll click on here. You can directly click on new as well. So if you want particular version, you can click here and we can click on 2020. Here we can enter the project name and the name of our project will be Unity Environment. And then the most important thing is that if you want to create a realistic environments, so you can use universal render pipeline or high definition pipeline. So we will just click on high definition RP, HDRP, and then we will click on create. So it will take some seconds to open Unity for us, Unity editor for us, and in the next section we will learn the very basics of Unity. Okay, in this particular section we are going to learn about Unity basics and we will see the tools. When we open Unity project with the HDRP, you can see this type of UI. Here on the left side you can see the game objects here where we have a hierarchy, and these game objects are used to be used in your game. So if we, for example, click on certain objects, you can see its property here in the left side. So this right side is the property window, or we can say the inspector. So you can click on any object and you will find its properties. Okay, let's see, you can see the properties. Okay, so by default, if you will create a 3D project, you will not find this type of a scene or any of these objects, but if you will create a project with HDRP, then you will find this type of pre-built scene. Okay, we don't want to create we don't want to use this scene. For a new scene we can create a new scene here. So let's click here and this is the assets folder. Okay, so we have three main sections, the game objects section, we have property section which is inspector, we have asset folder where our assets lies. So whatever we want to use in our game, that will be here, okay, in assets. And also we have these 4 windows as well, tabs as well. So if we click on scene, this is the scene window. We can just move objects here and where, we can rotate, and anything we can do in the same scene window. And this is the game window where we can see our result for the game. So if we click on game window, you will see that it will show us the camera view. Okay, so we have a camera here, and if we click if you type here camera, you will probably see the camera. So that camera is in this direction, set up in this direction. So that's why we are analyzing this view. Okay, so after that we have a asset store section where we can search for assets, but unfortunately in the Unity 2020 and later versions, the asset store is moved to its online website. So now you can download the assets from its website, and then that assets can be imported into this Unity project. After that we have a animator window, although we don't have to do anything with animator window, but this is for animations and other things. We can learn this later on. So now we can go to scene view, and now we want to create a new scene. So let's create a new scene by right click, and here you can see we have a scene. And now this scene we can name it. So I will just name it Unity Environment, and then we can double click on this, and you can see that we have a new scene. In the new scene you can see that we have a main camera and directional light. If we hide this directional light, we will not have any light in our Unity project. And if we hide this main camera, then if we go to game view, you can see we don't have anything in game view. Okay, display one, no camera rendering, because our camera is disabled. So if we enable this camera, then we can see the view whatever we want to see. So now we will learn about the basic tools of Unity, and if we right click here, we can create our objects here. Okay, game objects. So for example, if we right click, you can see create empty, which is a empty object. It has only the positions here. Okay, and this is a empty game object. It's not a sphere, it's not a circle or anything else. It's only a game object, and this can be used in several for several aspects. So now we have a 3D objects. Here you can see we have a cube, sphere, capsule. We can create anything here. So for example, capsule we have created. Now you can see we have this nice capsule. Similarly, we can create some other objects as well in 3D objects. You can see we also have a train, we also have a tree, we have a ragdoll, mirror, quad. These are the things, a little bit advanced things. We can also create a 3D text, etc. So for example, if we create a sphere, you will see that we have a sphere here. So whenever we place the objects here, and I will just show you other objects as well. So here you can see effects, we can place particle system, etc. These are not the things which we have to implement in this video. That's why I'm just giving you a just basic overview. So in lights, we have different type of lights, audios, we have audio sources, we have video player as well. We can run a video in Unity as well. In UI system, we have different UI systems objects where we can place sliders, panels, canvas, text, image, etc. We have visual effects as well, rendering. We have the some rendering options. We have a volumes as well. Okay, and we will learn about this in the same video. And we have a camera option. So these are the objects. So whenever we create a object, now we want to move this object, for example, that we have these tools on the left top. So here you can see we can click on this hand and we can pan the environment. If we click on this section, we can just move our object to x-axis, y-axis and z-axis. Also we can click here and we can move it like this. Okay, so after that we have a rotation tool. If we click here, we can rotate our object like this, okay, and it's up to you that how you can want to rotate it according to your scene. Also we have a scale option. We can scale the object like this. We can make it bigger, we can make it smaller, we can scale it to z-axis, y-axis and x-axis as well. Okay, so blue line is z-axis and green gizmo is y-axis, and this x-axis is reddish one. Okay, so after that we also have this scale tool. This is also a nice tool, but it has 4 corners, so we can select any corner and we can scale it from that corner as well. Okay, like this. We also have this new tool, move, rotate and scale selected object, which is in later versions of Unity, and here you can see we already have all the tools implemented to our object. We can scale it, we can rotate it, sorry, oh, what happens, okay, rotate it, and we can also move it. Okay, so these are the very basics of Unity. We also have a top menu where we have file, edit, and these menus have different properties and different objects, and we can just use that objects for our games. But for this particular course we have to create a realistic environment, so we will not explore all the sections of Unity. So the main things you have to know for the basics, that this is a hierarchy, this is the property window, this is the asset window, this is the game scene view, and we also have game view, etc. In next section we will move further and we will create our environment. Section we are going to create our train and the environment. So let's start. So for that purpose I have created a new scene, and in new scene you can see that we have only main camera and directional light. So for creating train, we can right click here and we can go to 3D object and we can click on train. Train is actually a land in your game. So whenever you will create train, it means that you are creating a land in your game where your characters and cars, etc. can move freely. So when we create the train, you can see that on the right side we have several options here, and the first option we want to set up is actually in the setting option. So if you click on setting button, you can see that we have very basic informations. So we have train width and train length, which is 1000 meter into 1000 meter, which is too big, and you can say that this default train will be created as a 1 kilometer length and width. So here we will just make it something like 150 and 150. It will be fine. And now you can see that we have a train, small train here. The second thing we want to add on this train is textures. So in HDRP we have some default textures. You can bring your own textures as well if you want, but in HDRP template we already have some textures added. So for adding textures, we will again select train. We will go to this tool, paint train tool. You can see we have some tools here, create neighbor trains, where we can add multiple trains as well. We have this paint train option, we have this paint trees option, and also we have paint grass options, which are not supported in this version. So we have setting options as well. So in the paint train option, we have several options here where you can see raise or lower train. We also have paint holes, paint textures. So we want to paint texture on our train, so we'll select paint texture, and here you can see different settings here, and we can add a texture here. So if we click here, edit train layers, we can create a layer, and here you can find your desired texture. So for default texture, we have a texture with the name of ground, so you can search for ground, and then we can double click on this, and you can see that we have a nice texture on our train. Although you can see that the tiling is not too much good, and the tiling is very small, so we can actually change the tiling settings as well for this texture. So if we select the texture here, if you will click on this, you will find the tiling option here. So we can increase the tiling size of x-axis 5 and 5, and now you can see that we have a better texture formation. Okay, definitely you can increase this to something like 7 and it will give you more better texture. Okay, more better tiling actually, although the texture quality will be low. Anyhow, we have created the textures, and the other thing is that we can add multiple textures as well, or we can create paths and other things as well if you want to do. So I will just show you how you can do that. So here in edit train layers, we can add another layer, and actually we can click here and we can create a layer, and here you can have different textures. Whatever textures you want to use, you can use that. So let's select some simple texture like this one, maybe wood. So let's select this. So now you can see that this texture is available here. So if you want to put this texture to somewhere on the train, you can select this texture, and after selecting you can see that this is a brush here. Okay, so the brush settings are here. If you will come downward, you can see brush size, you can see opacity, also you have different brush styles. Okay, so you have different styles as well, and whatever style you use. For example, we want to use this type of style, so let's select this one, and the brush size is this much, so we'll just decrease the brush size. So you can see we have this type of texture. So if we just brush like this, you can see that we can make this type of ways here. Okay, so this type of way. Okay, so we can modify some other things as well. For example, you need lower textures, opacity, so you can decrease the opacity here, and if you will just paint, you can see that this texture is a little bit faded out. Okay, similarly you can increase the texture if you want the very high quality of texture, then you can see that we have this type of result. So this is the tool where if you want to create paths and roads in your train, you can do so. So we'll just press Ctrl Z to undo this. We will just maintain things simply, and now we will just move back to this section. So here you can see we have paint texture selected. If we click here, we can select raise or lower the train, and when we select raise and lower the train, what we can do, we can actually apply any brush, and for this we also have the same brushes here like this. Okay, and when we will use this brush, the train height will be enabled. Okay, so it will create it will hide the train height, or it will lower the train height. So here you can see that we have brush size. We can just increase the brush size. For example, maybe small brush size is fine, and opacity, you can see it's so very big. So if we click here, you can see a bigger height here, okay, because the opacity is too high. So if we make it small, if we click here, you can see that this height is too small than this one, okay. So you can manipulate different settings according to your needs, like this. If you can select star, you can see this type of effect, like star effect, okay. If you select this random brush, you will find this type of height, okay. So these are the things you can play with. So for our purpose, we will just select this one, and if for example you don't need these heights, what you can do, we will just press Control and then again Shift, and then we can remove these heights like this, okay. So for our purpose, we want a very small height to our train. So, and in the some sections of the train, so what we can do, we can just increase the brush size, something like, I think, yeah, this one, and we'll just decrease the opacity. So let's keep opacity to 20, maybe 20 is too big, so let's make it 5 maybe. And now if we for example brush our train, you can see we have still higher opacity. So we can just undo this, and we can just select 3 maybe, and then if we yeah, it's good. So we can just high or lower the train to the certain sections. And the best brush for this purpose, if you want to create some mountains, etc., or other type of simple effect of lowering and highering the train, then you can use this one, this brush. This is very nice brush, and you can find a better result with this brush, okay. So I'm just making a small area, so we are just adding height to some areas like this, okay. And you can see very light height I have just given. Anyhow, you can increase the height if you want to create some mountains, for example, like this, okay, and like this. And sometimes if you want to, for example, if you want to make a road between the mountains, then how you will do that, okay. So for example, here you can see this is the mountain, and you want to make a road between this area, between this mountain. Then what you can do, you can just decrease the opacity, we can keep this opacity, and we can just decrease the brush size to something like 10 maybe, okay, for road, or maybe 18. So 18 is good. And then we will press just Shift, and we will just drag it like this, okay. And you can see that we have a nice road between the mountains, okay, like this. And now you can definitely go to your textures, paint textures. You can select your road texture. This is not the road texture, but you can select the road texture, and then you can paint the road like this, okay. And if you have problem with the paint, for example, in this case, you can see that mountains have also this paint to some extent, so you can select the other paint again, and then you can keep it like this, okay. So in this way, the purpose of defining this, that with this system you can create anything with the train, okay. So let's undo these things. We don't need these mountains and other things. We will just keep it simple, and let's create trees to our train. So in HDRP we already have some trees which are added to our sample scenes. So if we go to assets and sample scenes, and if we go to meshes, you can see we have structure, and we also have probes, nature, and in nature you can see prefabs, and also we have some other meshes as well as in models. So here in prefab you can see we have bamboo A, bamboo B. These are the type of different trees, so you can add these trees to our scene. Also we have rock system, you can add rocks as well. So let's see how we can do that. So we will just select the tree, we'll go to tree section, we will click on edit tree, add tree, and here you can drag drop this tree, or we can just open this and we will just write the name of bamboo. Sorry, I think bamboo. Okay, so here you can see bamboo A, bamboo B, etc. So if we select bamboo A, and so if we click on add, now we have trees enable. So we have certain options for the trees. So here you can see brush size. So if you can see here the brush size. We also have a tree density. So for example, if we click here, you can see that we have nice trees here. Unfortunately, these are not the trees, these are actually the bushes. So what happened is that we have some problem with this bamboo A is some tree, I think, some bush, I think. So we need actually the tree. So for tree, I think we can use, okay, yeah, I just forgot. So here we will just add bamboo, and this A option, this one, okay, 2 option, the second one, we'll select this and apply. So now if we click on the here area, you can see that we have nice trees here. Okay, so these are the first type of trees. So now we have some other functions as well, where we have tree height. So we can randomize the height of the trees. Okay, so if we want to some trees bigger and some trees smaller, we can move this slider like this. We can just select this section and select this section, and we will randomize the trees between small and big trees. So now if we just make the brush size bigger, and then if we just paint like this, now you will see that we have a lot of trees here. Okay, and definitely these things we want to see in our game view. So if we go to game view, you can see that our camera position is not good. Okay, so for adjusting the camera position, we will just select the camera and we will just look at the camera. You can see a camera view here. Okay, and I will just bring it like this, zoom out. We will select this tool, move tool, and now we'll just move this camera. Okay, so something like here, or in the middle maybe. Okay, and you can see trees here, and yeah, this place is good, this placement is good enough. And now if we go to game view, you can see this type of view, okay, which is good. So now we'll just bring camera a little bit forward. Yeah, this view is quite good. And now you can see that we have trees here, and quite natural. And now we can add actually the other trees types as well, if you want to do. So what we can do, we will just go to select the terrain, we will just go to trees, we can edit tree, add tree, and here we can add some other type of trees. So here I will just select the first one, which was bamboo A, and or we can actually place the bushes as well if you want to do so. Fern 01 is, I think this is a better type of bush. Okay, so we are just adding the bushes, or you can say the plants as well. So here we'll just add the bushes similarly, like we can just paint the terrain like this. Okay, and now if we go to game view, you will see nice bushes here. Okay, similarly we can add some grass as well, although the grass section is here, but in this version the grass is not supported in HDRP, and so for that purpose we will just add some other type of tree, edit tree, and for grass we can use this plant asset. Okay, so this is a type of grass, so we can add it here and we can just apply it, and then sorry, I have just changed the other tree fern, so we will just edit tree and add tree, not edit tree. So here we will just add the plant, and now we have the plant option, and definitely we will just brush it with a left mouse click. Okay, so now if we go to game view, you can see the grass, but it's not very much visible, although you can see here grass, but it will be visible in a bigger screen, and also we can actually increase and decrease the size of grass as well with tree density, but for this purpose grass is added, but you can see that fern is not here, the plants. Okay, and that is because we have just edited the fern without any reason before. So we'll just select the fern and let's add the fern again, and that's it. So now if we go, plants are added as well. Okay, fern is added as well. So now you can see that we have added plants, we have added trees, and we also have added grass. So if we click on this play option, you will see that it will show us the bigger screen, and we can see our environment in a bigger screen. But before that I will just click on maximize on play, and then I will just play it, and now we will see our environment in a bigger screen. So this is our environment, and next steps we will move further and we will see other things as well. So due to some error, you can see invalid editor window, Unity editor failed. No problem, we'll solve it. So sometimes this happens to the newer versions of Windows. So for that purpose, what we have to do, we'll just go to layout and we will just reset all layouts. Okay, so it will solve our problem, and now if you play it, hopefully we will not face any issue. So let's see. Yeah, you can see that it's playable, and if we maximize on play, and then if we play, hopefully we will not face any issue now. Yeah, you can see nice environment here. So the next steps are we want to add some type of fog, some type of winds effects and other things, which we will do in next sections. Okay, in this section we are going to add the Skybox and fog to our environment. So let's start. So for adding Skybox, we can just click here, and we'll just go to 3D objects, and we have, sorry, not 3D objects, we can go to this volume and sky and fog volume. So we have just added sky and fog volume to our scene, and now you can see that it will you can see a difference in our environment now. Okay, so I will just go to game view so we can visualize the impacts in the game view. So here you can see we have a little bit impact. So first of all, we will just go to we have this mode which is global, and profile is sky and fog profile. So if you click here, we can have two options, local and global. And also if we click here into the visual environment, you can see we have a sky type, physically based sky. So we'll just change it to Hdri Sky. Okay, and now you can see that we have changed the type, and now we can just click and add override, and here we will say Hdri Sky. So now you can see that we have several options for the Hdri Sky, and we'll just enable these options. We can just enable these all options, I think. Okay, and now you can see that we have different type of effect. Here you can see that we can add our Hdri Sky manually, and we need a cube map, usually say Skybox, for this section, and we don't have any Skybox here. So we'll just go to our Unity asset store, and from the Unity asset store we can download and import our Skybox. So here we will say Skybox, or we can say Sky, no problem. And then you will find a lot of results here. So we need free sky, so we'll just go to price and free assets, and now you will see that we have some free sky boxes. This sky box is very good, all sky free 10 sky. So we'll just click on this. You should be logged in to Unity, so let's see I am logged in or not. So I'll just click here, and let's see what happened. So I will just sign in with my account, and now we'll just click on open in Unity and open Unity editor. So here you can see that our package manager is opened in Unity editor. If you don't have package manager open, you can go to window and then package manager. So here you can see that our packages will be refreshing, because I have a lot of packages imported already in past. So let's see what happened. So you can search actually here for all sky. You can see here we have Skybox, all sky free. Yeah, this one. So we'll just select this, and we will click on download, and it will start downloading our asset. Okay, so now after downloading, we will just click on import, and it will import the asset to our project. So let's see. Okay, so now we'll just click on import to import all assets, and that's it. All sky is ready for our project. Okay, so after importing all sky free, you can see a folder here, and in this folder you can find the different sections. You can go to cartoon B, you will find some Skybox here as well, also in the other folders. But we can go to sky and fog volume directly, and here you can see that we have a field of Hdri Sky. So we can just click here, and you will see the sky boxes. Yeah, these are the skyboxes, so we can just click on the skybox here. You can see the effect here. If we click here, we should see the effect in this game view, but I think, what is the problem? Yeah, actually we can go to scenes and yeah, we have to set the exposure as well. Okay, so if we make exposure to 10, yes, and now you can see that we have, let's make it 100, and 100 is too big. 20. Okay, so between 10 to 13 is good exposure. Okay, and now you can see the skybox effect here. We can just click here, and now we can just, this is the simple one, this is the cold sunrise, sunset, this is the epic blue like skybox. Go to cartoon. We have some other as well or not? Yeah, this one is also good. And sky day, this is the simple one. So I think that this one is quite good. Okay, and that's good. If we go to game view, you can see here that we have the skybox, and now if we decrease the exposure, you can see the result. If we increase the exposure, you can see that it's quite brighter. So we are good with I think 14 or okay, or maybe 13.5. Yeah, this is a good view. So now you can see that we have added our skybox. Now it's time to add fog, and for fog we have this object. We can just extend this, and you can see a lot of properties here. We can just click on all here, and all elements of the fog will be implemented to our scene. Alright, so now for fog, you can see that we have enabled the fog, but you can't see fog too much in the scene because we have the fog attenuation distance. So if we decrease this to something like 100, you can see very nice fog. If we decrease it to maybe 20, you will see a lot of fog here. So we can just make it 100. I think that is good. And after that we have the base height. So it is the height or distance from the camera. If we increase the height of the fog, you can see it will be increased. We can make it even 100, okay, like this, and we can also decrease it to 0. So the default options are also nice. So we have all also have a maximum height. We can increase the maximum height, and you can see that the fog height is maximized. We will just keep it on 100. The default options are good. Maximum fog distance is also there, so we can just make it 10 maybe. As you can see, the clear sky and a little bit of fog, so we will just go with 5000, which is good amount. Color mode, we have sky color. We also have a constant color. We can keep we can change the color of the fog as well. So but in this case I will just keep it to sky color. And after that we have a volumetric fog, and also we have tint. If we add some color to the tint, you can see that a little bit of reddish tint you can see. So we can make these changes. So also you can see a volumetric fog, which is very nice for the lighting purpose. We can enable or disable the volumetric fog. If we just make it disabled, you can see that fog is there, but we don't have any volumetric fog, so we have just simple fog. So we will just implement this volumetric fog for the lighting purpose and lighting beams like that. We also have albedo colors of the fog. We can just change the colors as well if you want, and we'll just keep it to white for now. We also have ambient light probes. We can just decrease these, okay, and we can just increase these as well, and you can see the effect in the window. We can just change the volumetric fog distance as well. We can just make it 200, and we'll just go to 64 by default. We also have a denoising mode, which is the Gaussian in default, and we can add reprojection or both as well. So Gaussian is good, so we'll just keep it Gaussian. After that, one more thing is in Hdri Sky that we have some settings are related to rotation. So if you want to rotate your sky in the real time, we can do that. So if we, for example, rotate the sky, you can see rotation is added. So for example, update mode, we will just change to maybe real time, okay, and update period, let's add maybe 5 here, okay. And now if we play the game and game view, you will see that our sky will be rotated something like that, and it's can't see the rotation of the sky. So yeah, actually enable distortion and procedural, yeah, we have to make this enable, okay. And then we'll just add a scroll speed, okay. The default is 2, we can just add 5 just for testing purpose. And scroll direction, we can just adjust the direction to something like maybe 18, okay. So now if we play the game, you will see that our sky will move, and you will imagine that clouds are moving in the environment. You can see very nice movement here, but the 5 is a bigger number. I think we can just make it something like 2 is good, and also we can scroll direction we can increase or decrease as per our need. So that's nice. Next video we will move further. Okay, in this section we will learn about lighting settings. So if we click on directional light, you can see that in scene view this directional light is somewhere. If we move this directional light, for example, like this, okay, and anywhere, nothing will happen. The lighting throughout the environment will be same, but we will place this lighting near to the main camera so that we can just get the better lighting system. So here we can just I just copy this component transform of the camera, and for directional light I will just paste that component values. So now you can see that lighting is there where our camera is. And now if we move it to upward, you can see that this is lighting. If we go to game view, you can see very low lighting because lighting is not towards the ground. So now if you see here, our camera is this way, and our lighting is also towards this way. And if we, for example, select the directional light, and if we rotate it like this, okay, so now the z-axis is towards the ground, And now if we see game view, you can see that our shadows are toward forward direction. Okay, so we want to be our lighting here, and we want to drop our light from this side view, so we need our shadows, tree shadows towards this side. Okay, so for that purpose we can just rotate it to y-axis as well, like this. Okay, so now if we see in the game view, you can see that our shadows are towards that direction, and if you want to increase the shadows property, then what we can do, we can just move this reddish rotation somewhere here, and what it will do, it will increase the shadow impact of our trees. So now you can see that we have a nice lighting and nice shadow effect at the place, and we can select our directional light, and here you will find a lot of options. So first of all, we will just go to general. It is directional and real time, which is good. Shape, then we have these settings. We don't need to change these settings, and then we have this thing which is filter, and also we have a intensity of the light. Okay, we can increase or decrease, and also we have temperature. So what it will do, that if we go towards this side, you will see that the temperature, it will give us a morning type, evening type view. Okay, so we can just bring it to this section, but for now we will just keep it to white, and also we will want to go to shadow modes, and here you can see shadow maps and contact shadows. So if we disable this, you can see we don't have any shadows in our environment. So like this we can enable it, and we can also update the mode. Every frame is good for the realistic environment, and these are some settings related to lighting. So if you want to add a light or place a light on a certain object, you can do that as well. And in our case, I think we have better lighting, but we have to do something with the lighting because it's too bright, I think. So we can just move it. Sorry, where is the Z key? Okay, so let's move it upward, and now in game view you can see little bit difference, and this is good and more realistic. We'll just change the temperature to little bit like this. Okay, and now here we have other settings as well. Volumetric is also enabled. If we disable this volumetric, you can see this difference, and also we can change the multiplier of volumetric to something bigger, and the best setting is around 6, or maybe for us 4. 4 is also too big, so we'll just go with 2, and 2 is fine, I think. So 2 is fine for this type of environment. And now that's it for the lighting. In next video we will just move further with the post processing. Okay, in this video we will add post processing, but before adding post processing, I think our environment should be should have some more trees and some more objects. So for that purpose, I will just select the train, and I will just go to trees, and let's add another tree here, and let's add a bamboo, and we will just add a bamboo sea tree maybe. Okay, let's see how it will look like. And in the scene view, if we zoom in, and if we click here, then you can see that it is what type of tree it is actually. Let's see in game view we can't see because we didn't added it to near the camera, so add it to near to the camera. And now in game view, yeah, here you can see some more trees, different type of trees here. Okay, so we want to add these trees to only this section, not to around the whole environment. And again we will add one more type of tree, and let's add the bamboo D maybe. Let's see how it will look like. So let's click here one time and two time maybe, and then let's go to game view, and now you can see we have third type of trees as well. This one you can see. Okay, so that's good. So that's fine. So now we want to add some rocks to our environment. We can actually manually add trees as well. So for example, if we go to our main camera, let's select the main camera, and if we go to F to focus on this, you can see that this is our environment, and in the camera view we can add some rocks and other things. Okay, so yeah, for that purpose, if for example we want to put some specific trees here, we can go to train again, and we can just go to trees again. We can just minimize the brush size, so like this, and we can put some trees here as well. Okay, and yeah, that's our choice. But I think that tree density, only one tree we want to place, one or two trees. Here we want to add similarly bamboo C tree we can then add here, and here maybe for better visualization. And now in game view you can see different type of trees as well, although to this area is quite blank, I think, so we can put some trees here as well. So yeah, that's good. Okay, so now what we want to do is that we can put some rocks here. So for adding rocks, we already have rock assets. So if we go to sample scenes, and then if we go to meshes, I think, and probes and nature and prefab, you can see some rocks here. So we can place some rocks in front of our camera, and yeah, at these points I think. So we can just add rock A here, and rock A2 somewhere here, rock A3 here, and then we will just adjust these rocks as per our need. Before that we will just go to game view, and you can see very nice rocks here. So that is a good thing, but we can just break this game view here in this side, so we can see the camera view here as well. Okay, and then in the same view, scene view, we can change the positions of the rocks, etc. So I think if we select this one, and if we rotate this one like this, yeah, this is better position. This rock we will just move it near to this rock, sorry, this one, maybe here, and you can definitely bring some better ideas and implementations, and you can get some better results as well with the rocks. So it's up to you. I think it will look better, maybe. And then if we go to game view, here in the scene section, then you go to game view, you can see this type of environment with these rocks, and we can increase the rocks as well, or we can just place these rocks here to the side view, I think. So let's move it to, let's select the rocks, move these rocks to the this point, I think. Check the game view, and you can place the rocks as per your need. I will just place these rocks here, and that's enough. Also, we can put some other things to these scenes. So for example, if we go to meshes, and if we go to structure, maybe not structure, if you go to probes and actually lighting, okay, not here, so it can be here in particles. Yeah, we have some butterflies, and we have some falling leaf and etc., floating dust. So if we place some butterflies here near to the rocks, you can see if we go to game view, we don't see butterflies because the butterflies are added to some other position. So we'll just select the rock, let's copy the transform of the rock, and let's select the butterflies, and we'll change the component values. And now we will move these butterflies a little bit like this and little bit upward, and now in game view you can see very nice butterflies here. Okay, yeah, you can see it in zoom view. Okay, so that's very nice effect. So similarly, we can add more butterflies here as well if we want to do so. So we can just duplicate these butterflies. Let's add these here as well, and then we can add falling leaf. Definitely falling leaf has also the 0, 0 position. So we'll just change the paste component values, and here are our falling leaves. Just bring these leaves upward, and in the game view you will see that the leaves are falling and butterflies are also moving. That's nice. We can also add some floating dust if you want to do so, but I think okay, let's add floating dust as well. Paste component values, and then you can see floating dust like this, and actually I want to move this floating dust a little bit to x-axis, so towards this point. Okay, and now if we go to game view, you can see a little bit of dust as well, and butterflies and falling leaves. Okay, so let's move further for the post processing. So for adding post processing for our scene, we can just go to main camera first of all, and we will also make one setting here is post anti-aliasing. So let's select the fast approximate, so it will give us a better crisp view of the camera. And after that, in the sky and fog volume, we will add post processing, We can add post processing separately in a separate volume as well, but we can add it here as well. So let's select it and let's come here, click on add override, and here we will just click on post processing and we will select the bloom option. We will also click here again post processing, and we also need this chromatic abbreviation, so we'll just add it. We will click here add override, and some other things we also need like ambient occlusion. We also need some one more post processing effect with the name of Vignity, okay, and also we need one more post processing effect with the name of penny projection, okay, panini projection. So these are the effects which we will choose for our post processing effects. So let's do that. Okay, for post processing, first of all we will enable the boom, so we can click on this all, and now you can see that there is no bloom visible in game view, but if we increase the intensity of the bloom, you will see that the bloom will be added, okay. So we can decrease or increase the bloom, and I will just keep it 0.3, and after that we also have scatter. So bloom scattering option is also there, so we don't need too much scatter, so we'll just make it 0.5 maybe. That is better. And after that we have tint. If you want to add some color to the bloom, you can do so, but you don't want to add some color to the bloom right now. After that we have lens dirt. It is very nice for the rainy type effect, if your environment has some rain or snow effect. After that we will enable the chromatic abbreviation, so let's click on all. We have intensity, so if we increase the intensity, you can see this type of alien type effect, and we will just keep it to 0.15. I think that is a better thing, which will give us a realistic view and first camera view actually, so that's good. Now if we move further, we have also the maximum samples, etc. You can change that as well if you want to do so. After that we have ambient occlusion, and it will give us the sharp shadow effect. So if we increase the intensity, you can see that our shadows are more brighter, okay. You can see sharp shadows. So in this case we'll just keep it to, I think 1.2 is fine. And also we have direct lighting strength, etc., radius, quality, etc. You can change these settings as well. We also have Vignity. This option, you can just select the procedural here, and we also have the color. We can change the color as well. We can change the intensity, and you will see the impact of this. So we actually have the borders like old camera effect borders, so just keep it to, I think 1.3 maybe. Yeah, that's good. And here smoothness, we can change it a little bit, okay. And now you can see we have this type of impact. Also we have a panini projection, so we can just click on all, and we have a distance. We can just place zoom in, and you can see that it's just zoom in our environment. So also crop to fit is on one, which is better. So For this I think we can just go with I think 0.3. I think 0.2 is fine. Okay, so these are the some post-processing settings which we need for our environment for now, and in next video we will move further and we will work on some wind effect and wind shaders as well. In this video we are going to create sunset and night effects. So we can do so with the simple lighting, direct lighting effects, and we can just select the light and we can just increase the temperature to something like brighter and not too much, and it will give us a better impact of sunrise. Also we can just modify the intensity. So I think yeah, intensity if we increase, you can see very nice sunrise effect. And we can also play with the multiplier here, and if we increase the multiplier, you can see it's too bright here and it's good, but I think we can place it to 6 or maybe 5, so it will give us a better view of a sunrise effect. So also we can add some shadow dimmer and etc., but we will not use that. We already have a nice impact. So if we click on maximize and play, and if we play, then you can see how it will look like. So now you can see that it looks very nice. Now you can see that we have a very nice sunset atmosphere here. Now let's move for the other thing, which is the morning effect. So if you want to add some morning effect, you can just make this temperature towards this side, okay, and it will give you a morning effect. But you can see that intensity, we will just decrease the intensity. Okay, so I think intensity, full intensity is fine, and indirect multiplier, or it will be 1 is fine I think. And also this multiplier, if we increase it, you can see brighter, but we will just decrease it to something like 2. Yeah, now you can see that it give us some morning effect. And now what we want to do is that we can actually change the skybox. So if we go to sky and fog volume, and if we go to skybox, where it is, okay, sorry, yeah, this one. So here we can, gone skybox, and just here, sorry for this, I don't know why I am losing that here. Skybox, yeah, this one, Hdri Sky. So we can just click here and we can select some night sky. So here, this is the, yeah, this one is for night, but I think we can try some more as well, and I think that is fine. This one, yeah, this one is night. So yeah, we can select this one, and now you can see that we have a night scene. So if we play the game, definitely you can play with certain properties, and you can get some better effects as well, but for me this is fine. And you can play with volumetric lights to get some beams, light beams, etc. One more thing here in the final, one more last thing is that we didn't added the wind zone to this scene, and our trees are not moving, and that is because we don't want to, if we implement a simple wind zone here from the 3D object and wind zone, it will not work in HDRP variant, and for wind zone we have to create some shader graphs. So if you want to learn about wind zones, how we can create a wind zone or wind in HDRP variants, then you can comment. I will create a video on that. So now for viewing our environment, we can just go to main camera, and we can just add a component to it, and that is will be simple camera controller. If we add this simple camera controller component, now if we play the game, we can just move our camera right, left, forward, and you can see now we can move throughout the environment. And also we can, with right click, we can just check this environment like this. Okay, so also you can see the clouds, etc. But in the other view, for where we have make effects for the sunrise, there we can find a moving sky. So here you can see that we have a nice night view as well. So that's it for this video. Allah Hafiz.